Before we start, I must warn you that there's going to be a lot of yogurt consumed on the show. Welcome to Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 38, streaming on YouTube. For comments and thoughts, well done, Dan. Great yogurt there, pal. If you are purchasing the Ben versus Eubank 2 fight, please consider using our QR code in the top right. She's up there somewhere above Dan. So tonight we're supposed to be joined by Nick, Dan, and myself, and another person, but he's not here yet. I don't know if he is coming here. It's supposed to be Matty Guys from the ladies football. But what we'll do is while we're waiting for we've got loads of people in already. All waiting for people to rock up, Dan. This was Nick's question, but Nick's not here, so I don't know what's going on there. So Dan, yesterday.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, it was sick after I only listened to I did watch with Wes. I listened to it and I just felt sick. How did you feel, mate? How did you feel?
It just, do you know, I think a big part of it was there was so much excitement leading into the game. Yeah. We'd sort of got the sniff of something going on, hadn't we, on Friday? That we got the sniff that something was going on.
Thursday night, actually.
Yeah, you're right. It was, yeah. And I'd convinced myself that it was Luke Rowe coming in from Telford, because I was going through all the socials and on the social media, and all I could see, he was the only player I could see that had been announced that they were leaving the club. And normally you sort of get that first, don't you? You get the announcement from the club they're leaving, and then we announced. So that was the only one I could see. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. Oh, it's good yogurt. What flavour is that? Strawberry.
This is Arla protein yogurt, mate.
Very good.
I've eaten enough. Sorry, mate. Just to stop this a little bit, because lots of people come in now. I said at the beginning of the show that I'm going to consume yogurt. Oh, here he is. I'm going to consume yogurt today. I need to eat yogurt today. And hello, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
You're right, bud. You forget about us, yeah? You forget about us, darling.
I'll be honest, I'm absolutely exhausted. I've played 4 football matches today.
Did you concede as many as me today, Nick?
1 less than you in 2 games.
Okay, there. That shows how bad a day I've had, doesn't it?
It happens though, mate. If you're playing a good team.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a good team we were playing. Wes is already into his yogurt. Have you got your yogurt, mate?
Have you got a yogurt, Nick?
I've only got this because the 2 yogurts I've got in the house are like kiwi, and I'm like, what is that about?
What?
Mate, honestly, I've got a kiwi and mango yogurt in the house, and I'm just not interested in that. I've got to be honest. So
I've got
a brew. I've got the podcast.
Yogurt's become a thing on the podcast, isn't it? So this is Arla protein strawberry flavor, 45 grams of protein, this whole tub, which I'm going to eat. But it's like cement. Oh, look at you, Dan. Someone's doing well. Taste the difference. Yes, lad. Yes, lad.
Yeah, very good.
A mug you can
win. I carry on, or should we pass this?
Yeah, please carry on, Dan. Carry on. Just eat me yogurt.
So essentially, there was so much excitement. I convinced myself it was Luke Rowe that was coming in, and we were talking a lot, weren't we, on our WhatsApp group? And I kept blowing you two out of the water, saying, no, it's definitely not. It's not Gayassi. We'd know about it.
Dan, can I stop you? Can I stop you? Because I'm going to carry on my interview. All right. So,
okay, we'll start over
again. Start over again. So, welcome to Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 38, streaming on YouTube. For comments and thoughts, if you're purchasing the Ben versus Eubank 2 fight, please consider using our QR code, which is by Dan anyway, in the top right corner. Joined tonight by Nick, Dan, and from the Kidderminster Harriers women's team, it's the head of women's football, Matt Guys. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the show, my friend. Can you see us? Are you there? Can you see us, Matt?
I can see you. Can you see me?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got you, Matt.
We can
nice see you.
Looking great today. Cool. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Right. Okay. So, Matt Guys, head of women's football. What does that actually mean, Matt? Let's start with that. What does that actually mean?
Oh, good question. Straight in, Wes. We spent a lot of time in the last sort of couple of years, I guess, within the Harriers section that some of you may or may not.
Oh, he's on hotspot, isn't he? He said very good. Oh, no. Oh, what a tease. What a tease for Matt that was. Never mind. No. Temptation is to eat more yogurt, Dan, if I'm honest. He's gone. Hopefully he's coming back. He's going to kick the cat and he'll be back. Fingers crossed. No, we're not talking about kicking cats anymore, are we?
I was going to say,
Let's not do that. Here he is.
Do you know what?
Let's
I'm
add
going
to
to
the
crack
stage.
into my yogurt as well.
I've just said you're on hotspot, Matt. Okay, so we've got.
Yeah, I am a little bit. Oh, you've got a picture of me as well. There you go. Oh, yeah. So as I was saying, sorry guys, I am hotspotting because my Wi-Fi is playing up at the moment. But yeah, so we spent a lot of time in the background building the women's section a little bit. So when I joined, it was one women's team. I think there was an under 14s, and that was about it. We've now sort of built it up across the whole of the pathway, so it incorporates the pathway a little bit and into the women's section. So we go from sort of under 9s and 10s all the way through to under 18s. We're doing under 21s next year, and we've got a women's first team that's doing pretty well as well. So it was kind of, the role started as the manager of the women's first team, which was last season, and then during that season we kind of realised we needed to do a little bit more behind the scenes and build the club to replicate the boys section, I guess. I mean, the boys section's flying. We've got 54 teams in total across boys and girls, but that was very heavily focused on boys previously. Now obviously it's focused between the two, which is a great situation for us to be in as a club, and it's kind of what was needed.
Matt, when I was I'm going to say when I was like middle school, high school age, I was living in Southport on Severn, and the street we used to play. Now I'm going to give her a shout out. She probably doesn't listen or whatever, but I used to play against this girl called Kelly Saunders, and this was like in the early to late 90s, right? And she was amazing. She was amazing at football, Matt. Honestly, her skill, her speed, her guile, it was awesome. But there was nowhere for her to go back in the day. So how's it moved? How's it progressed, basically, is what I'm asking, Matt.
It's progressed massively since those days, Wes. I mean, I think there's 100 stories out there of girls that have had to play in boys' teams and have been the only boy playing. Even when my daughter started, there wasn't, and she's only sort of at 19 now, or 18 now. So even when she was 10, 11, there wasn't a lot of girls' teams around. I think in the last sort of 5 to 10 years, it's come on massively, mate, to be honest. And now, if you look at all of the age groups the girls play in, they all play in the Central Warwickshire League, and that goes from sort of under 10s all the way up to under 18s, and there's 2 or 3 divisions in most of those age groups as well, and that's not the only league around. So I think it's not quite at the level of boys in terms of the number of teams and leagues, but it's not a million miles away. The under 16s play in the equivalent of the JPL, so they go all over the country playing against some really top class sides as well. So I think the growth is astronomical, to be perfectly honest, and it's obviously well needed, because there's a huge demand out there for women's football right from the early age all the way through. And I think, like you've just mentioned there, whereas years gone by, there was nowhere for them to go. If they did, they had to play in a boys' team, which ultimately has an age where they get to and go, I can't do this anymore. With the greatest respect, at 15, 16, 17 years old, there's very few girls that are going to want to be playing in a boys' team for lots of reasons, and that's why the women's game and the female game as a whole has come on massively in the last few years.
Now, I've got one more question, and then I'm going to bring Nick in. He's got some blinding questions as well. But has the England national team's success helped, Matt, do you think?
I think it definitely has in the younger age groups. I think even when we play and we get the junior section in, we play at Agbra as and when it's available, and the people that turn up and the girls that turn up, they all want a photo, they all want an autograph, they all want to meet the players, and if you look at that from an England viewpoint, that's where a lot of these girls first see a game of football. It's a lot more accessible to get to a women's England game that is a men's game, not just financially, but ticket availability and that kind of stuff. And if you look at the amount of people that go and watch these games, there's a huge demand for it, and everybody wants an idol, don't they? And that's why a lot of the girls look to the women's England team when they're doing so well as well, and it's on the telly and people are watching it. If it's on in the background, kids will watch it. If it's their priority, they'll get to a game, and as a result, they've got something to aspire to be, I guess.
Okay, Nick, you crack on, mate. There's comments coming in, that's all.
Right, Matt, how's it going? Weird to not be seeing you on the football field.
Yeah, how you doing, mate? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm good.
So yeah, a couple of questions that came to mind. I think one of them is, I mentioned it on a podcast a while ago, probably back in the summer. And again, this could be completely non-viable operationally. I don't know, just given the changing rooms and all that stuff. I totally get it. But I guess in terms of just getting, I guess, more exposure for the women's team, and I guess driving value for money for season ticket holders, and potentially just giving them that sort of bigger atmosphere more consistently around games after home games. I know you play on a Sunday in the women's league, but I was just thinking sometimes would it make sense, even if it was now and again, where on a Saturday afternoon, Harriers men's team have been at home and Agbra, maybe a 5:30 or a 5:45 kickoff, so that those that have been at the game for the men's game could potentially go back to the social club or the Arms and then head back in for the women's game as well. Again, conscious that operationally might not be viable. I'm sure it's something you've probably explored previously.
Yeah,
we've thought of a while ago.
We've looked at it a couple of times, mate, and you've got a couple of challenges with it. The league we play in is not adamant it's got to be played on a Sunday, but there's got to be a very good reason not to. So you've got to have two teams who've got to agree. With women playing on a Sunday, they're quite often working on a Saturday or doing other stuff on a Saturday. So it's really difficult. Midweek's a lot easier, obviously. We've had a few midweek games down there, but weekend-wise and operationally as well, you've got to get everybody out to clean up, and then you got get everybody back in, and it does work and has worked at a couple of other clubs, and we have toyed with the idea at Harriers as well. It's just logistically, it's really quite challenging when you've got a pub on site and all that kind of stuff as well. A lot of people get turfed out, and then you can come back in an hour and a half or so later. But with all the logistics around the Harriers Arms and everything else, it's something we would love to do. I just don't think it's going to get off the ground from an operational viewpoint, unfortunately. And I completely agree with you there, Nick, in the fact that you would get a lot of people that would just hang around, have a quick pint, and then dart back in for a second game. But I think it's something that for the future we would like to look at again. But at the moment, mate, it's a bit too much of a challenge for us.
Yeah, I did think there would be logistical, operational issues with it, mate. So I'm not overly surprised, but I thought it was one just to put on the radar in case it was something that maybe hadn't been thought of or that could exist at some point. And then the other question, obviously, I've got a daughter who plays football at the younger age groups. How does the sort of academy system work at Harriers in terms of the girls section? Is it a scouting system? Is it you take over teams? Is it different? Do you just start from scratch at a certain age point? How does that work?
Do you know what, Nick?
You're disappearing, Matt.
We got good solid 10
I think
minutes.
That's happened with the majority of the team.
We got you back.
That was probably the focus to start with. Am I back? Have you got me
back? Mate, yeah, but we missed the last 30 seconds.
Can you repeat that? Matt, is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, of course, can. So the plan was originally we bring in some coaches, get them to a certain level, then we bring the players in for the teams. What happened was when the name got out there a little bit and the facilities were seen, a few teams approached us and said, look, we've reached the end of the road with X, Y or Z. We would like to come and represent Kidderminster Harriers. So there's been a couple of teams that have come sort of en masse, but in the rest of it, we've built it, and the way we built it is we don't tend to go out and scout. We tend to do open trials, if you like, and they're not necessarily trials. They're just open sessions for people to come and experience the atmosphere and see if it's for them. Even at sort of the younger ages, sort of 12, 13s and 14s, there's a difference between girls that just want to enjoy themselves and there's girls that want to try and make a pathway in football, if that makes sense. So we try and accommodate for both if we can. And we have got various teams in certain age groups. It gets a little bit more serious as they get to sort of 14s, 15s and 16s, because we've got elite development squads and that kind of stuff as well. So we run depending on the demand from the age group a little bit.
I've got I was going to ask this question, but Nick's just asked it as well. Matt, what are the plans about a women's stadium at the training ground? That's the way forward for the moment, right? Or is it not more?
It is being spoken about, yes. So at the minute, as you know, at Cozy, there's a lot of money earmarked, should we say, for development down there. So they're looking at Astros, they're looking at developing the facilities, they're looking at doing a lot of stuff. So at the moment, we've got a 2-year, 1-year agreement that's going to go into a 2-year with Droitwich, and we're playing on the men's first team pitch over there at the minute. But the longer term plan is to bring us back to Kidderminster with a facility that supports the women's section, and that's not just going to be the ladies team. That'll be the 16s, the 18s, the under 21s that we should have by then as well. So I think that there's a genuine reason we can't play at Agba every week. Again, due to logistics, due to cost of opening the ground, because it's got to be stewarded and everything else. So we're looking at the next best thing. And if you look at the level that the girls are playing at, but also the boys' academy at under 18s and under 21s, another mini stadium somewhere at Cozy or somewhere else would only benefit the club. And if you look at the amount of fans that have turned up to watch the FA Cup for the 18s and 21s this year, there's a demand there from the fan base to watch the younger ages come through, and I feel that demand does lend itself to the women's section as well. If it was a Kidderminster Harriers ground where that can't be at Agba, so it needs to be somewhere else that we can control, which would be Cozy.
Can I ask one last question, Wes?
Of course you can.
In terms of the senior women's team, then, how do you go about? Because you do tend to bring players in. Certainly, obviously, start the season, there tends to be quite an overhaul of players. Quite a few leave, even though you had a really successful season last season. It was quite an overhaul, I guess, just given the jump in levels, just like what you'd see in the men's game. But how does it sort of work? Do you have like a scouting system? Is there what are the major differences, I guess, at this level of women's football versus, say, what we'd be used to in the 6th tier of men's football? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, mate. It does. I think there's a smaller pool of players for a start. I think if you look at men's football, the pool of players that you've got and the talent between the likes of Harriers and some of the lower leagues, there's not that much. So you've got to know a lot about all of the players that you can potentially pull from. And obviously, logistically as well, the men's team can pull players from pretty much up and down the country. We don't so much because of financial restrictions and everything else. So we tend to focus our energies on players that we know have come up against in the leagues or are local to us, and we know of them. And that's the way that most teams tend to recruit. I mean, we've got a couple of players that travel a fair distance. One comes down from York to play, but the rest of them are sort of Birmingham based. There's a little bit of a couple further south down towards Gloucester and stuff, but they are usually within 45 minutes to an hour. We've got a really good coaching network in terms of the manager, myself, and the head coach as well. We've been around the women's game for quite a few years, so we know a lot of the players. There's always a few that jump out, and we always do an open trials things or register trials at the start of the season to see who's interested in coming down, and we also open that up to the younger age groups as well. So we have got we've got 3 under 16s from the elite development squad that are training with the first team at the minute, just for exposure more than anything else, to see what level they've got to get involved at that level. A couple of the under 18s are training with us as well. We've got a couple of under 18s that are signed and on loan elsewhere as well. So we try and use that pathway to build up for the future, knowing that they're probably not right for this level yet, but we've got to expose them to it as early as we can to make sure they're ready for it as and when that comes to fruition.
Matt, I've got a question about biology, because women can do one thing that men can't, which is have a baby. So what's the protocol when maybe one of your players gets pregnant? Is there a certain cut-off point, or before they give birth and then after? This is so interesting to me. I have no idea.
To be honest, mate, we tend to. It's only ever happened with sort of one of our players previously, I believe, but it's not something that I've encountered as yet. But I believe the protocol is as soon as they find out that they're expecting, they tend to move away from the game. And then what we always do as a club, whether it's an injury or it's a pregnancy or whatever else it might be, we give them a lot of support, and they're always brought down to the club. They're always invited to the games to make sure that they're not ostracised and they still feel part of that. And then obviously, as and when they're ready, post delivery and post baby, if they want to come back into football, we will support them with that. And lots of them do, and obviously there's a fair few that go, right, that's my priority now, I'm going to move on and do other things. So it is case by case dependent in terms of whether they want to come back or not.
Amazing. I hope you send flowers and cards.
Obviously
obviously. Matt, what's been your best moment so far in your job role as women's head of women's football at Harriers?
Purely because I still get a huge amount out of the the coaching side and the game day and everything else. There's a lot of success behind the scenes. There's a huge amount. If you look at the amount of teams we've now got compared to when I started, if you look at the noise and the buzz around the women's section as a whole, it's a lot better. And that's not down to me. That's down to a whole host of people that support and help in the junior section, from the coaches to Brandon, who organises it all, through to the management that we've got. But if you want me to pick up two highlights, the one's got to be the FA Cup run last season. So we played at Agborough 2 or 3 times. We beat Stourbridge in a penalty shootout, and there's a bit of history with Stourbridge as a club. The manager's been there before. I've been there with the junior section. The coach has been there as a coach as well, and a load of players played at Stourbridge. So to beat them in a penalty shootout, where they were at that time 2 leagues above us, was a massive day. Then we played Blackburn the next round as well, and had a great day at Agborough. So that's the one, the FA Cup, and the second one was winning the league last season, which was a really tough ask for us at the start of the season. We didn't expect to be in the top 3, never expected to win it, and to win it on the last game of the season, to get promoted into the National League was something the club's never done. So something you've got to be immensely proud of as a group.
Have you seen Welcome to Wrexham, Matt?
Yes.
Because they do at times highlight the women's team, which is great. And I know Ryan has a daughter or 2 daughters or something. So obviously he's invested in it. And do you think they're doing the right way, Matt? What's your thoughts on that when it comes to women's game?
I think they're doing a great job. We've played them 2 or 3 times now, and so I've got Wrexham from 2 years ago to Wrexham to this season, because we played them both times, and the amount of effort, financial investment they've made, not just in the team itself, but in the development of the ground and everything else. That I think everything they're doing, guys, is doing things the right way with the men's, the junior section, because I know they spent millions on the academy as well, and they've obviously spent a lot on the women's section as well. I find it hard pressed for anybody to say they're not doing everything the right way, to be fair.
Okay, so Matt, you might not know this about me. In fact, you might not know anything about me apart from I run the best podcast about Kidderminster Harriers. But anyway, so I buy retro football shirts from eBay. Do you remember this one, Matt, at all?
I do, yes, I do.
But sometimes when I buy them, they come from players who used to play in them. Do you know who that
Amy
is?
Plimmer.
Yeah,
I do indeed, yes. There you go, yes.
Do you have her contact details? Because you get it wrong, because I want to thank her for the shirt, to be honest.
I literally, so she is Lee Field's secretary or assistant manager. So I saw her last Sunday at the game. So yes, I do have her contact details.
Oh, that would be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. Dan, did you want to say something? Or did Nick steal your
yeah, a little bit, but there's a really good question from Nick Hatton. So I'm gonna steal your question, Nick. I'm afraid, but I'm a goalkeeper by trade, as is Nick, also here on the podcast. And Nick Hatton's question is basically asking about women's goalkeepers and the fact that they are a real talking point. He says Emma Hayes has spoken about smaller goals. Do you think this is something that could happen? What are your thoughts on that?
I think I can see the reasoning 100%, and I don't think that it's necessarily a bad suggestion. I'm purely looking at it from a logistical viewpoint. So if you look at all the way up the junior sections, obviously they go from 5 to 7s to 9s to 11s. If you've then got to start looking at different size goals for girls, and then you've got to look at different size goals for women's teams, where do they come from? If they're playing at, look at us for argument's sake, we're playing at Droitwich Spa men's team. If you've then got to start taking the goals out to put different size goals in, and you can't really do it at elite level, but not lower levels, if you make sense, because we play in tier 4, which is 3 leagues off the WSL, but the infrastructure, even at our level, is nowhere near enough to warrant that kind of investment and that kind of logistical challenge. So I think it is a highlighted point within the women's game, but do I think it detracts from the game? Not enough to start changing the rules too much, if that makes sense, because otherwise then you're going to look at smaller pitches, you're going to look at different rules for the women as a whole. I just think it opens up too much of a can of worms, mate, to be honest with you.
Sure. And our Nick here, his daughter's a goalkeeper, and I get videos sometimes of her training, and she's for a youngster, she's looking like she's going to be a bit of a talent as she gets older. Do you think goalkeepers are improving? Is this something
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So we were really lucky last season with the goalkeeper that we had, and we've got a really good goalkeeper.
She was really good
as well.
She was really good at keeper last year.
She is one of the best, and I've been around women's football and junior girls football for many years. She's the best keeper I've seen in a long time. And if you look at her compared to a relatively good men's keeper, there's not a huge amount of difference. She was agile. She could spring. She claimed things. Her kicking was as good as any man I've seen. Fantastic. We've got a youngster this season who's 17 and is following that kind of pathway as well. And again, I think it's indicative of the whole of the women's game, to be honest, guys. It's miles better than it used to be, and that's because there's a lot better coaching going in. There's a lot more investment going into these players and these facilities, and that only results in a better experience for players and fans. And to answer your question, if you look at the amount of facilities that the junior section have got within every club in terms of goalkeeper coaching, it's not what it used to be, where you stick a pair of gloves on somebody, throw them in goal, and whack balls at them. There's a lot
Basically
more to it than that now, which is good for everybody. Exactly. How most of us started, to be fair.
That's what Dan does every Sunday.
I had 6 put past me this evening, so we could have done with your keeper, but I think my age these days.
Matt, what's your hopes for the future, pal, for Kidderminster Harriers women's team?
I think we've had a great start to the season. Whereas, to be fair, we've obviously gone up to a league. I think we're in the league where we feel we should be. I won't say we're comfortable, because it's a challenge every week, and it is to maintain and stay in that league. And I think build the attendances, build the junior section. So we've got under 21s that's going to come online next year, but we're going to try and get more elite development teams going. So sort of 15s and 16s. We've got a post-16 college program for girls as well, which we're spending a lot of time developing and improving, and that's got to be the focus to make it sustainable. Obviously, in my role, I'm in charge of the commercial side as well. So what I'd like to see is more investment from businesses and support in that way as well. But we can only do that by continuing to bang the drum and talk about it on these kind of environments, and let people know what we're doing. Because if we don't talk about it, people don't know. And when you do engage with fans and you do engage with people that care about the club, it only has a positive impact. So I think for me, it is just keep doing that, and keep building the reputation for the club and the junior section right throughout, from under 9s all the way through to the open age, and link that as much as we can, get to as many games in the junior section as we can, so they understand there is a pathway and a future for them, and hopefully keep as many girls in the game as we possibly can as a result.
Matt, I love your passion about the ladies team. I'm sure Nick and Dan do as well. It's been brilliant to have you on, my friend. Thanks for coming on. I'll leave the final word with you, my friend. So it's your chance to speak to the people watching about why they should come and watch the ladies and get involved.
I think it's a great time for the club. I think, like I said, we've been promoted into a really competitive league this season. So it's a competitive game every week. You'll see, dare I say, it's something similar to the men's in the fact that we create a lot of chances, and they're clinging on or losing by the odd goal in a lot of games. So they're always competitive. It's a good environment to be around. If you've got a young family, it's a great day to come down and support the women. They're a really good bunch, and they're really happy to get involved with fans as well. So you'll get a really good experience. And likewise, if you've got any questions on how to get involved or how to come down, if you're a season ticket holder with the men's, you get in for free. So there's all those little perks as well. And we'd love to see some of you down there in our next few games if you can. We have got the FA Cup away to Fylde, which is a bit of a trek, but then hopefully if we get through that one, you never know, we might get another game at Oakburn. We'd love to get some people down if we can.
If someone wants to get involved, or they just want to find out more from you, Matt, what's the best way to contact you, my friend? Or
probably email, to be perfectly honest. So it's pretty simple. It's women@harriers.co.uk, and that drops into my inbox. So if you've got any questions about the junior section or the ladies team as a whole, or anything else to do with the club, please feel free to drop me a message, and I'll come back to you with and help you in any way I can.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Thank you, Matt. Cheers, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a clap.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Cheers,
Cheers,
Matt.
guys.
See you soon.
Thanks,
buddy.
Matt.
Bye-bye. There you go, guys. How cool was that, man? You enjoy that?
Good guy.
Nice. Yeah, it was good.
That
Great
felt really
to hear
good.
the women's game getting so much
Oh.
attention as well. It really is.
And I'm just going to eat my yogurt, man. So, Nick, what happened yesterday, pal?
Oh God. I feel,
That's exactly how I started this just before you came on with that question. Those exact words.
Not in a negative way. I'm just tired generally today. I also feel a bit like Craig Revel Hall when I'm having these conversations about the performance the day before. I thought the first I thought the first sort of 10-15 minutes I was optimistic. I thought we came out of the traps really quickly. I thought, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a dynamic performance. And honestly, if you said to me after 10 minutes, how's this game going? I would have said, I think this is the game it clicks into place. We look absolutely red hot at it today.
Stella.
And then Mooney goes down, real bad injury, etc. And often bad injuries have an impact on games where it sort of fragments what the team's doing, gets into the players' heads a little bit. And I think after that sort of 10-15 minutes where we've been brilliant, I think the injury totally then changes the game to a 50-50 game. I know Adam has said that he thought we had lots of control in the game yesterday. I think there must be something that he sees in matches that makes him see control of games differently to me. Because I've said this before previous weeks. Too much of the game is played in our own half. And again, apologies for being boring, saying the same things every week. But at Agra this season, I don't remember a season in my time at a level where we've kind of got expectations to be kind of in the top 4, 5, 6 spots, where the ball has been so, the possession has been in our half so much. Even in the National League when we got relegated, I don't feel like it's much different to that this season in terms of that possession in our own half. So I think I don't agree that we've controlled that game yesterday personally. Again, it'd be interesting to see what the comments say. I don't think we've controlled the game. I think we started it really, really well. I think I've seen a few comments on like the forums and stuff about Bambi on ice for Obi, which I think is really harsh. Ultimately, in my mind, if Obi isn't playing for us this season, I think we're already mid-table, because the amount of times I've seen the guy put his head on everything, it's like a magnet to the ball at times in games where we've really been up against it. And yes, he's got a mistake in him. He's not really made a clear mistake for some time now. But yeah, he's got a mistake in him. And if he didn't have one, he wouldn't be anywhere near this level. He would be outside of our team for sure.
Exactly right.
And I think Bambi on ice is very, very harsh for a player that, other than that error that he had yesterday, I thought was a beast. I'm not saying he is Abdou Sal level for those fans that can remember Abdou Sal. Not quite sure he's there yet, but actually he's probably the first player in a long time that I could say, resembles him in some capacity. And yeah, he's going to make mistakes. He's 22. He's playing the 6th tier of English football. He's not going to be the perfect product, or we wouldn't have him. I thought, and this is going to be a funny one because everyone's going to go mad, I don't think TSS played that bad yesterday. Again, the forum suggests that, and the fans are saying that they don't agree with me. Should he have taken his chance? Absolutely. I think it's it's probably up there as top 3 worst misses that I've seen at Agbra. And ultimately, when you're a striker, you're paid to put the ball in the net, and he didn't do that yesterday when he should have. But I do think it's harsh to criticise his work rate. I thought he ran around, he worked hard. We as a fan base are expecting Amari Morgan-Smith levels of aggression in terms of their press and their ability to chase down balls. If that is our expectation for every centre forward that comes to the club, we're going to be a very disappointed fan base, because that is what Amari's game was, and that's what he's made a living off, and fair play to him. He's been fantastic at it. That's not every centre forward's game. Saying that, I still think he put a good shift in yesterday. I still think he ran hard. I thought he won plenty of flick-ons. I think he linked the play quite well. And ultimately, if he took that chance yesterday, I think I'm coming on here saying I thought it was a really good performance from TSS. But again, the fans that I see and the stuff I read suggests that they want him out and Amari back in. I thought TSS did okay yesterday, with the exception of he has to take the chance. Giassi, nice introduction from him. Doesn't look match fit to me. I thought that within like 10 minutes, he was doing what I sort of do on a Sunday morning after 5 minutes, where I've got like, my hands on my hips and I'm
hands on the hips. Yeah,
never really see football. Like, I see that at the Harriers, and he was doing that, and I thought, oh, okay. However, the irony of that though is that I thought second half he grew into the game even more.
Yeah.
He got an assist, which I don't think you can ask much more of. He had a nice little dribble and shot that looked to be going on target, which again I thought was positive. And I think ultimately he's a proven entity at the level, both at a pre-season, a sort of title contender Kings Lynn, where he was on fire, clearly gone out of favour there. And last season at Peterborough Sports, in a poor side, an average side, he scored goals. So I think he's a really good acquisition, but of course that is, the negative now of that is that we all saw that signing as an addition to the likes of Dan Mooney, which, the real sour point of yesterday was him. I'm sure we'll talk about that, so I won't talk about it. But I think that's the only downside really with that signing, is that it's almost now he's replacing Mooney in terms of a attacking, creative, high-level player, when actually he should have been an addition. I thought we missed Jack Clark yesterday on the assumption that Jack Clark would have played like he did on Tuesday night. I think he was fantastic on Tuesday, as were a number of players. But I thought we missed him yesterday, and we massively missed Mooney when he went off. And then I guess my final thing really on the game yesterday, I thought Willoughby, who had to play a slightly different position once Mooney got injured, showed some real nice touches. You can tell he's a nice technical footballer. I just wish for him really that he could get a goal. And finally, Zaziba, fantastic introduction yesterday, electric, nearly scored, and then of course we've gone and conceded one. So don't feel overly negative about the game yesterday, but I did have my head in my hands at full time and when that goal went in, because this just can't keep happening. I think it's the sixth or seventh time this season we've conceded in the 90+ minute, which, as an external sort of party to the team, you look at that and go, mentality wise, we're just not quite what you would need at this stage to be a successful team. And what I mean by successful is a team that competes and wins in the playoffs. I just don't think that at the minute, the mindset, I wouldn't be comfortable with us going into the playoffs, that we're going to go and attack them and be successful just based on the mentality of those late goals. It can't keep, it's not luck when it's happened this many times. It's not bad luck when it's 6 or 7 times, in my opinion. That's the concern.
No, I think absolutely right. And I think what we're seeing now is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I sent you guys a load of nerdy kind of stat stuff I was looking at this morning. And when you look at the goals, yeah, this is horrible to look at. But this to me is screaming a self-fulfilling prophecy, that as soon as that board goes up saying how long's left at the end of the game, the team goes into panic mode. But when you look at the goals for and the goals against, and you kind of put those into the league table, when you look at the goals against, we actually are 4th best in the league for conceding goals. There's only a couple of teams above us for the number of goals we've conceded. It just seems to be the case that we're conceding goals in stoppage time. It's just so strange, and I do believe it's something that has got into the players' heads. The thing that really upsets me about what I was looking at this morning is the fact that when you look at the goals we've scored, we're actually 16th or 17th in the league. We're way down there. And I think that feeds into the self-fulfilling prophecy, in that actually defensively, we're very, very good. And I think Obi, minus what happened yesterday, is one of the key principles of that. He's one of the main reasons that the defensive record is so good this season. But when you are in a position where you're racking the ball against the crossbar and the post and missing chances from a yard out and things like that, it does get into your head, and we feel it in the crowd. I think the players, that it's not just them. We're feeling it as well. We see that board go up, and we know that we've missed 3 or 4 really good chances. You just feel it in your stomach, and it's just that mistakes then happen because we're so convinced we're going to make a mistake. It ends up just creeping in, and I think the only way we're going to change that, in all honesty, for me, is we start putting the ball away at the other end. And if we're 3-1 up yesterday, that mistake probably doesn't happen. But if it does happen, it doesn't affect the game in the same way, and it doesn't affect the team in the same way. So I think personally, I've seen a lot of stuff on social media saying about the defence. I think our defence is very, very good. I think we're very solid, minus the Radcliffe. I think we're very solid, and I believe Obi is a big part of that. But I think if the goals start going in at the other end, the defence relaxes, and we don't get the last frantic few minutes of balls being pumped into the box and everyone just frantically trying to get it away. None of that happens. So we just got to start scoring goals. That's, I think, the bottom line. And
definitely our problem.
Partially cleared. Here's Giassi now for Harriers on that far left-hand side, taking on Howes as well onto his left foot. It comes in. Oh, for time!
Matty Paddock getting very excited by that one.
For the home side.
Lovely that, really.
It's a really good bit
nice
of
from Giassi.
Lovely from Giassi. I watched him quite closely yesterday, and it seemed to me he was most comfortable playing off of the shoulder of their last man. And you can see his body shape. He wants to be fed in, he wants to cut through, and he wants to run onto it. And I think that's really exciting to know that we have a striker who is looking for that decisive ball in.
If he's fit, come on now. If he's fit, he's scoring. He just is.
Yeah.
You just know he's
you feel it. You feel
know
it.
he's going to score. All right. Okay. So, read that one out, Nick, for me, please. It's good, that one. For you.
Well, there's that one, but there is also.
Oh, really, Nick? Come on, read that one first. Come on now.
All right. Well, the positive is someone does agree with me by the looks of that. So appreciate that, Mr. E1871. But Phil, who disagrees with me today, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone's got their criteria of what they're looking for in a performance from certain players, and we all see things differently. Look, I'm not forgiving the miss, because ultimately, if he puts that ball in the net, it's a completely different game, and therefore we may have gone on and got 3 points. But I just think some of the stuff that I see about him needing to be dropped, taken out of the team, dropped from the squad. I personally just don't think he's been that bad in the times that I've seen him play to suggest that. And I've seen people, and you hear people in the East Stand sort of questioning his work rate, like, getting to run around and stuff. I think he does run around personally. I think he links the play quite well. I mean, for sort of contrast, Alfreton have signed Mark Beck on loan from Scunthorpe, who, for a time was a player that I really liked when watching him at Darlington, ironically, in the National League North. Big, tall, sort of ginger centre forward, sort of 6'4", 6'5", very, very good in the air, good headers, good hold-up play. He's another player that's probably getting on a little bit now, and maybe not the right type of profile of player we'd need. But even in his pomp, in the National League North, he didn't really run around. So I just genuinely don't think the Harriers fans would take to players like that at the moment. So I think we've just got to really, as a fan base, think, yes, we need a goal scorer. We know that. Goals have been an issue. You could say, from a centre forwards perspective, I know Hemo got lots of goals last season, but in a traditional kind of number 9 sense, we've not really had a goal scoring, prolific number 9 since Joe Ironside. But I'm also conscious that Joe Ironside didn't run and hassle to the level that Amari Morgan-Smith runs at. So if that's the benchmark of what we expect from our number 9 every game, I think the fan base, again, going back to that, is going to be a bit disappointed, because I don't see many players in this division run like Amari has done when he's been in his actual pomp for the Harriers. So, what are we looking for? Do we want goals? Yes. Those come in different formats from a number 9. They're not always going to be coming from a player that just absolutely chases and harasses and sort of dies for the badge. That's not always going to be the case.
How many goals has Show Silver got now? Is it 2 or 3?
2, and there might be 3 actually, including
the cup game.
The cup game, yeah.
So Christensen only scored 1 in 38, so he's already beaten him. So whatever, that's gone. That's really gone.
If Adam Murray or any of the staff are watching this game, can we please get the stats on TSS to show that he does run? Because Gary Martin has said that he doesn't run.
On, mate, you're watching. Come on, Mario.
We know you're there, Mario.
Evening, Gafford assistant. Hello, mate. Right, thoughts on Murray's recent interviews? Very honest and pre-match interviews about his mistakes. Fans looked to have lost Look to have a lot lost. Hang on, what? Looks
Wait,
to
can you
have
read?
no, I
A
can't.
lot less weight on his
Dude,
shoulders.
I've eaten 100 grams of protein in about 10 minutes. Quite funny. Anyway, I thought his first interview. What day was it?
Friday.
Was it Thursday?
Friday.
I think Thursday or Friday. I thought it was fantastic. It was everything as a fan that I wanted to hear from him. Owning his mistakes, saying about his mistakes, and then owning them, and then saying about the players, and then them owning it as well. Yeah, I mean, it's lovely. It was just lovely, and
he smiled as well in that interview.
I know. Should it have got to that stage? Should it have to go to that stage? No, but it did, and it's dealt with. So there you go. So I mean, why wouldn't you be happy with that?
And it was great. It was great to see yesterday that the North End really got behind the team yesterday. There was some great chants going on. Even where we were in the old purple granite stand, there was singing, there was chanting.
It was the best atmosphere of the season on a Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Did you hear the chant for Xander, Nick?
Yeah. The John Smith special.
No, was it John Smith? Was it?
Yeah. So John is he was messaging us about it, wasn't he? I think John's created that or messaged someone that sings. I don't know, but yeah, that he said it was happening on Tuesday. I didn't really hear it in the East Stand, but I could hear it loud and clear, and it was it was a good atmosphere yesterday in the main.
Yeah,
to be fair,
Dan.
Yeah,
Dr. Dan. Is that the last time we've seen Mooney this season? Do you think?
Oh. Well, I think I need to preface that now and say I'm not actually a doctor. So
what? You work for the NHS, mate. That's better than me and Nick, pal. So crack on.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we shouldn't speculate about what's happened to Mooney. The hope is that it's.
That's what we're here to do, Dan.
Yeah. Well, the hope is it's something minor, like a slight dislocation of the patella or something like that doesn't need surgery. He's going to be out for sort of 4 to 6 weeks. That's the hope. Worst case scenario is that's an ACL tear, and if that's an ACL tear, he's done. That's his season gone. You're looking at 9 to 12 months. It's such a gut punch. I went in. Like I was saying just before Nick came on, that I was driving up to the game yesterday on such a high, such a buzz. We'd sort of got wind of something going on with regards to a transfer on Thursday night, going into Friday. Then all the rumours started coming out that it was Gayassi, and I like I said, I wasn't convinced. I was convinced it was another player, and when it then got announced that it was actually him, I was absolutely buzzing, really buzzing. And the thing that was kind of at the back of my mind was what was that? His knee exploded out for this. Yeah. The thing that was at the back of my mind
is Stephen a doctor? Stephen Brown? Are you known as Dr. Stephen?
Dr. Stephen Brown.
I mean,
and do you work in orthopedics as well, mate? That's the other thing we need to know. So. But yeah, I was so looking forward to seeing him and Mooney linking up, because the creativity that flows through Dan Mooney and this revival that we've seen over the last 5 games, I really do feel he's a big part of that. So to watch him go down like he did, and to watch the Darlington team stop, with the ball at their feet and start pointing, it wasn't very nice. So I really, really felt for Dan Mooney yesterday, and I feel I could have dealt with the result. If we lost, we'd lost. I could have dealt with that, but I think losing Mooney as well was a real sucker punch, and something that I think at the end of the game, me and Nick sort of sat in the stadium at the end of the game, didn't we, Nick, with our feet upon the chair, just both sort of feeling very, very low.
Were you miles apart? Were you next to each other?
Well, we're quite a way apart, but I always come and say hello to Nick because he is on the same stand as me. So we always wave at each other as I come in, and then next he's always there before me eating his burger and chips. And then
that was a one-off. Genuinely,
was it?
I've had food at Agba this season once yesterday.
Unlike you, Dan, Nick's an athlete, mate. So do you know what I mean? He would never concede 6, maybe 5, but not 6.
No, I know. Well, obviously I'm not eating enough because I'm not filling the goal anymore. That's clearly the problem. So.
But yeah,
Can I just say, at KHFC TV, right? That would have been funnier if you'd have put knees exploded Dan Boo knee, as in knee, as in KNEE. That would have been hysterical, mate. It was okay.
Can I ask a question? Who's going to replace him? And I'll put that out to those on the comments as well. Who comes in?
I think also just quickly going back to Mooney. How must the guy be feeling? I mean, 8 minutes into the start of the season and he's out. Then he comes, and not only is he out, he's coming back. You know, the fans were really excited for the partnership with Willoughby. He looked really good in pre-season. We don't really then get that momentum to kick on. It kind of feels like he's finally getting that spark back to his game. And then this happens, and again, we're waiting to see what happens with him. But the life of a footballer, right, it just makes you think, like, is it worth it? Do you know what I mean? Like all that sacrifice, and then potentially out for the whole season off his second kind of injury. It's just it's just a shocker, and I think he is a key component in terms of our attacking play. Yes, he wasn't at a stage where he's been able to get the stats, the goals, and the assists at this stage, but you do watch him as a fan and think, you know, he's that kind of, I'm not going to use the phrase box office, but he is kind of a value for money type player where he almost looks like he's in a school playground, the way that he tries to play, and he's always looking to make something happen. And, you know, yes, we all like stats. We all love that. But sometimes it's what you enjoy seeing as a fan. And I think he's one of those players that you pay your ticket money for and you sort of get value for money from him. But unfortunately, we're not going to be getting that now in terms of his appearances, given the injury, which is a shame, first and foremost, really, just for him as a person. I've met him a couple of times, and he's a really nice guy, and he seems so positive and happy to be at Harriers and make a real showing of it. And it couldn't have gone worse for him, really. So, like on a human level, shout out to Mooney and hope he's okay.
And I hope everything's okay.
He's in a good headspace. Absolutely. And football is ruthless because, you know, we're talking about that next who replaces him, and it's hard, isn't it? He goes off on a stretcher. Giassi, the new signing, comes on, and the fan base are all up on their feet, me included. But I think massive shame for Dan. Hope he's okay. Hope he comes back stronger. But in terms of replacements, I think we now need to go again, and I'm just not sure that budget is going to be there unless we rejig the squad. The budget is the budget, from my understanding of it. Unless we find some behind the couch at Christmas time, I think we are where we are with it. And in my view, I think we're going to need to sort of shuffle that squad a little bit. It's quite defender heavy, but we've got so many injuries piling up that it was defender heavy when we started the season. But the rejig of that now is going to be difficult on the basis that we've just got so many injuries that are really starting to stack up. So yeah, I don't see anyone in the squad that's gonna replace.
Well,
Mooney.
I don't know. I think the shining light. This is exactly what I was going to say. The shining light for me was when Xander came on. There was a bit of Mooney-esque about him, that he's pacey and he was running at people. And he's obviously been, you know, the word's gone out from Adam Murray, look, you know, go make something happen. And he did come on, he hit the post, and that run to hit the post was a superb run, step over, came outside the defender and then crashed it against the upright. I mean, there's talent there. And I've said that from pre-season, but I don't think he's the complete player yet, and I think that is where it's going to get difficult. But
he's a different player, Dan.
He's a different type of player, though. He is a different. I think it's worth noting. He's a very different type of player on the basis that Mooney is a ball carrier. So Mooney gets you up the pitch with the ball, whereas Zaziba gets you up the pitch with his pace, a bit like Walker potentially, and Seb Thompson, where it's kind of indirect, get in behind and try and stretch teams. Mooney is more of in my mind, he's more of a technical. He's got speed, obviously, but he runs quite quickly with the ball. Xander is almost a 1-2 and try and go past your man. And I think there's an absolute time and a place for the likes of a Xander and a George Walker, but we don't play with width. So when you think of someone like Mooney being that little bit more of a technical player, a ball carrier, that kind of does suit the system. But the system we're playing now, we don't have width. I mean, when was the last time you saw, you know, if you look back last season, you had Joe Folks and Reece Devine, and then later on in the season, you had Worrell. A lot of the attacking creative play
came down the wings.
Last season.
That's right.
Came down the width. This season, we don't play that way. We are much more of a central team, and I'm not sure Xander, in the current setup, I look at someone like Xander and think 4-3-3, wide man. But I think in the sort of formations that we played 2 or 3 yesterday in game, it changed when Mooney came off. We went to a 5-3-2. I'm not sure he fits that. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He excites me massively. How would he not with that speed, same as Walker? But just not sure the system suits the personnel at the moment. So we either need to change the system or change the personnel is my view.
Mm-hmm. I think the system.
Sorry, can we just say evening to everyone's favourite barman, Ray? We love Ray. We love you, Ray.
Hi, Ray.
Evening, Ray. Evening. Carry on, Dan. Carry on.
I was just going to say, I think actually with the addition of Gayassi now, the system does have to change, and that was one of the points that I did want to make. Like I said, I was watching Gayassi and how he seemed to really like to be on the shoulder of the last man, and the system that we've sort of been playing is that kind of big ball forward, flicked on by the big man up front, and let them run onto that. And I think Gayassi can do something with that. But, I also get the feeling that he wants the ball on the floor. When you look at the lads who we've had up front, Amari, TSS or Show Silver and also Willoughby less so, but more Amari and Show Silver, they want the ball either to their head or to their feet, and they're always back to goal. And from what I saw of Michael Gayassi yesterday, is he is not back to goal. He is wanting to run through, and so I think the system is going to need to change. I don't think the flick on will be what he's looking for. He wants a delicate reverse ball into the channel that he can run into, and that was the vibe I got from what I saw of him yesterday. So perhaps the system does need to change, and perhaps and Nick Hatton has literally just written what I was about to say, that I think this is a really big opportunity for Xander, and although that makes me feel sad for Dan, and again, Dan, if you're listening or watching, all the best, and we hope this injury is very, very minor, but it is an opportunity for Xander to stake his claim on that position.
Things happen, don't they? Things happen when you least expect it and stuff. So opportunities knock and they come, and all that kind of thing. Stephen Brown, we're going to call him Dr. Stephen now from now on, I reckon. Although he's not showed us any medical certification, but we're going with it because he's cool.
Neither did I. So all I showed you was scrubs. So
that's close enough. Big man, small man. Sounds like
that is so harsh to call me and Wes that on the podcast. I mean, you can't. You can't
talk with Dan. Anyway, what I was going to say was that must be the title to the second awkward, hard album, Big Man, Small Man, with Dan, possibly. So, what else should we talk about, guys?
I can talk about the big man, small man thing as a big man, but no, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because I know obviously Matt, who's on the podcast and comments and watches. Shout out to Matt. He's always very much someone that. I know, yeah. I'm sure he'll watch it, but he's always someone that kind of is an advocate for a big man up front in the National League North. And whilst I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that, I do think there are different schools of thought, and it's got me thinking: in the National League North, how many teams do have what you class as a real big target man centre forward? It's not a genuine. It's just come to me. So there's no research behind this one. Whereas I do apologise. It's just come to me. But are most prolific strikers in this division big target man players, or are they supported, the top scorers, by a big target man like player from a profile perspective? Just trying to think of the top three strikers, and it's a good way for me just to segue into the fact Ricardo Reis got another 2 goals yesterday, so just 6 goals for him this week. But he's not a big man centre forward, and he doesn't play off a big man centre forward. Marsh for Bedford on Tuesday night, did he play off a big man? Not sure that he did. So whilst I'm not saying or suggesting that a big man isn't needed up front in the National League North, I do think with a little bit of research, it'd be interesting to see what has been successful at this level over the last sort of season or two. Again, I'm just thinking of South Shields now. Paul Blackett is not a big, tall centre forward, and neither is his partner, Kedwin Scott. Neither of them are target men. So maybe we feel we need a target man on the basis of the style of football we've played intermittently over the last 3 or 4 seasons. I'm just throwing it out there. What's up? What are the thoughts? I mean, the comments coming in now about best striker is Luca Thomas at Fylde. He's short. I don't know. I've not looked at it in detail, but AMS and Hemo last season, I think, is
big man, small man.
Yeah. But AMS didn't get that many goals off of. Hemo didn't get that many goals off of AMS. It was more, like you said, working those kind of wide channels, balls into the box, and he was putting them away there, or he was picking them up in the final third and making the chance himself. So whilst I get the concept of the big man, short man, and you sort of see that, and certainly that's very old school. You know, you want to go back to the Heskey Owen days of England and things like that. It's an old school.
Crouch and Defoe.
Yeah, exactly. And I sort of feel that
Quinn and Phillips.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel to me, and maybe that's just because it's not the style of football I like. That's maybe it is a personal thing. I want to see us like we were last season, working the channels, balls into the box. That's what I like. The type of football I like seeing. So for me, I would rather.
Adam, if you're watching, Dan wants to see that, mate. So if we can make that happen, Mario, Dan, whatever. Are we two things? First thing, are we happy with the comments on the screen now because they're bigger?
Yeah, I quite like that.
Read them. Yeah, happy with that. I'll have to keep clicking. Anyway, the second thing is there were boos yesterday, weren't there, Nick?
Yeah.
In the North Stand, Nick, talk to me about the boos, please. The booing.
I think the Tuesday night one is the big one. And look, you know, I'm coming at this from a place where I have been frustrated with the the performances that I've seen at times, but more importantly, I think the sort of rhetoric coming from Adam in terms of the media stuff that he does, and I do feel like somebody in the club has had a word with him, or he's obviously changed his style of doing that now. And I think the fact that he sort of did that, I thought was really important. I thought Tuesday night was tough. I'll be honest. When we went a goal down, real unfortunate goal. I think the whole, and again, opening myself up here to abuse and backlash, but I do think it was unnecessary to be calling for the manager to get sacked in the morning. In my opinion, I thought that was low at 6 minutes in to the game, and then the irony of it all is that a minute later it's 1-1 and we actually win the game 2-1. There's then a more positive kind of there's a really nice interview with Stuart Watkins, who I thought did a fantastic job. I also thought that was the right thing to do strategically from the club. Again, don't know whether it was set up. I would imagine it was. It was really good thinking, in my opinion. And then a really good pre-match interview. Again, ready in advance of this game. And I think, I've given him criticism about the tonality and what he's been saying, but I thought he addressed a lot of the things that we've almost spoken about on this podcast and with the comments and the fans forum around not saying we're a big club and not caring that whether he cares about the fans or not. I think we've realised that he does care. It does mean a lot to him. And
of course he does.
I've kind of gone from being frustrated, like I think you get that hope and expectation at the start of the season before it's almost kicked off. That lasts for a bit. Then you get I felt a little bit missold, which is where I've been at the last 2 or 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And then you almost get that he's kind of one of us again at the minute. And I sort of feel sorry for him and the team. I felt really sorry for the players. And I do really like the players this season. They do put a shift in. They do look exhausted at the end of every game. So I'm kind of in that mode at the minute of feeling a little bit sorry for the manager and the management team and the players at the minute. However, at the minute, if you said to me, what are we? I think we're a 7th to 11th place based football team. And that coupled with some of the things that he said last season, whether you want to keep talking about last season or not, it does have an impact. Not the fact we didn't get promoted, but the fact we scored goals, the fact we're entertaining, the fact that we challenged for the league title.
Nailed it. Absolutely
is a significant difference to where we are now. And when you put all those things together, you're going to have sections of the fan base that get frustrated. But as supporters, we are not in a place yet where the season's over. We're not in a place yet where the players look like they're giving up. We're not in a position yet where the manager's given up. So, there's lots of things going on. There's a bit of back and forth between ourselves and the club around how we can try and galvanise an even better atmosphere at Agborough. But I thought overall yesterday it was really, really strong for both the North Stand, as you said, Dan, even the East Stand were getting involved again. And it was really, really good. And I think once we've given that for a period of games, absolute maximum atmosphere, maximum passion, if we still feel the same, as in that pocket of fans still feel the same at the end of that, then fair enough. But I thought it was a bit harsh, and it's made me feel a bit sorry for the manager more than thinking, he needs to go. I'm nowhere near that stage yet. But there are lots of fans. There was a guy yesterday who ran down to the front in the East Stand, which is quite an unusual place to see something like that. He ran down to the front at the end, and he was shouting about, shouting over him, Murray needs to go. I've had a couple of messages from some of the East Stand fans that I know who have also said that they think he needs to go. And for me, I'm just not there yet, and I'm kind of more feeling a bit sorry for him at the minute, and hoping that he can get a bit of a spell together again and get us going. Because if you look into the future, we've got Southport Marine away, 2 games on paper that you fancy us, given our away form and the way we tend to be better on the road these days, you'd fancy us to hopefully get, say, 4 points from that. But then our next 3 league games are Chorley at home, South Shields away, Fylde at home before going into Hereford. That excludes any FA Trophy games. So if I'm the manager, I'm looking at the next 2 away and thinking I need minimum 4, ideally 6 points, because those 3 games are going to be tough.
Mm-hmm. I think as well, we talk about the frustrations from yesterday, and whilst I did think it was a good performance and we didn't deserve to not take anything home with us, I think where the difference is at the minute with regards to finishing in the top 7 or finishing mid-table is to do with that second ball. I sort of felt myself getting worked up about the amount of times that balls and challenges were occurring in the middle of the park. The challenge goes in for that first ball, and then the second ball we were losing 75% of the time, and I think that in itself makes a big difference. That I think we've just got to get sharper in the middle of the field when it comes to winning the second ball and starting to build from that. And we've talked about this on here, that we met Adam Murray at a training session, and he gave us a lot of his time, myself and John, and there was so much positive that came out of that, and it very much changed my opinion on Adam Murray. I do hope he turns this round. I do want the team to succeed, and I do want him to succeed. It is just going to be difficult for him to change the minds of those people who have clearly set against him to some extent. And I hope he can achieve that. And it's frustrating. It is frustrating.
I just want to mention this comment here from Phil. He says, "Where's Travis gone? I missed listening to him. Will we have an update on him, Wes?" Well, Phil, the thing is with Travis, he's a busy boy. He's a busy boy. He's a lot younger than the rest of us. So his priorities aren't trying to escape family life on a Sunday, which I think is probably there you go, Dan. Come on, Dan. We all know it, mate. We all do it. Travis is just busy. He's just busy and he can't make it. I mean, it's always open for Travis. He wants to come on. He's more than welcome to come on, mate. But that is the situation when it comes to Travis. Right. Okay. All right. So, where we go anyway? How long have we been on for? An hour and 7. Let's do 10 minutes, including any of the business. And I want to go to bed because I'm high as a kite on protein now, to be fair. So, what else would anyone like to talk about? When some comments come in, Harry Wilsey, for a full-time team to be plucky losers isn't really good enough, but still have to back the team. Do you know what? If this is the way I'm going to put it now, all right. So, if we went to a game and we played, we created nothing, we were terrible, got a lucky goal, conceded 2 goals, then you'd be worried. You'd be so concerned. You'd be like him out, right? But when it comes to, we had 20 attacks at goal. I'm not going to say shots, but we had 20. Maybe there were, I don't know. Maybe if we have 20 attacks at goal, 20 shots a game, eventually it's going to come good. And I hope it comes good this side of Christmas, because we're just going to make the playoffs. That's it. And it's the way we do it, the manner in which we do it. It doesn't matter if we're 7th or if we're 2nd. It doesn't matter. We just got to get in those playoffs. That's all it is. I think it will come good. I think we will do that. I just think it will. So someone called me out actually on TikTok. I used to be massive on TikTok. Well, I say massive. I used to have quite a following on TikTok. And someone the other day said, yeah, because they put this. I should have screenshotted it, but it was basically a picture of Akbar, and then it just said about how bad it was. Everything was bad, line after line of badness and that. I said, listen, mate, just chill out, just relax, just enjoy. And then he replied with, says the man who said on his podcast he wanted Murray out now. Oh, that come to bite me on the bum, didn't it? But the problem was there, I felt personally attacked. So if I feel personally attacked, I'm going to attack back. So there you go. So that's the reason that happened. Dr. Stephen, back again. Too much head tennis. No one putting the foot on the ball, taking control. Now, how much of this, right, is Murray's influence, or how much is that of the players? Because the players are so nervous, then they aren't going to do what Murray set them out to do, are they?
But this comes down to what I was saying. This Stephen's really sort of highlighted it here, that this is all to do with the second ball. That the long ball comes in. Let's say Dibble launches one up there, and TSS gets his head on it under a challenge, and the ball sort of drops down. We're not quick enough onto that second ball to put our foot on it and then start playing football from there. And so what it ends up being there's toes getting stuck in, there's bodies sort of getting kind of charged in, etc. And then the ball bobbles around, and the next thing you know, it's back up in the air again. And I think this is the thing I would like to see from Kidderminster now, is we're getting on. Well, I say once we've started scoring goals, I believe Michael Gayassi is going to start scoring goals for us, and I think it's going to drag the other players into the mix as well. I want to see us challenging for that second ball more. I want to see the passion that, you know, when the header's been won, we are the team that are first onto that ball as it drops down. And currently, I'm not seeing that, but I think it will come. I hope it will come. But I think that kind of plays into the head tennis.
I'm going to have a moan here, right? Currently, there are 42 people watching the podcast.
Mario's
How many likes do you reckon we've had? How many likes do you reckon we've had out of 42 people? Actually, it's 49 at one point. How many likes, Dan? Have a guess.
I'm going to say if it's 42 people, it must be 42 likes, surely.
You'd have thought so. I mean, Nick's probably going to say 50. 0. So if you're watching this, really well, hit the like button. It's not hard. Please do it. And also hit the, just get the QR code above Dan's head. Dad, can you point it out? Other side.
Oh,
Dan.
On mine, it's that side.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Can I just say something on G-Force's comment, if that's possible?
Yeah, that's Andy, by the way.
Andy, you're right, Andy. Last season, we scored 86 goals.
It's mad. It's
mad. You're going to get fine margins go for you when you're a goal-scoring, free-flowing team. You're going to get, just by the nature of statistics, more things go for you when you are effectively attacking more, creating more, scoring more. It's just the nature of the beast. It's momentum, isn't it? And so yeah, totally take on board that we got a lucky goal against Scunthorpe at home last season when Maz 100% crossed it. He definitely didn't go for goal.
He did.
I'm with you on that one, but yeah, I think sometimes this whole every manager says, don't they, that it evens itself over the season. And I look at the stoppage time goals as an example. I said it earlier on. That stops becoming unlucky now, and it probably has done 2 or 3 times ago. It's not unlucky when it's happened this often. It just isn't.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. We've not talked about it again, guys. But Richard Lane buying. Agra. Thoughts. My initial thoughts are, if he can turn it into a money-making scheme, which is obviously what he wants to do. He's not going to throw money at someone that's going to make him money. But Nick, we were talking about it when the news came out, and I said about it being a 24/7, 365 days a year kind of what do you call it? Business
facility, like a facility.
Yes. So I think if he can get that right, if he can get that spot on, if he could maybe a bit of red paint on the back of the north stand, that'd be nice. If he get lifting, that'd be lovely stuff. That'd be lovely stuff.
Is this just your Christmas list, Wes? I'm just going through your list of things that you'd like at Harriers.
Yeah, Kelly Brook. Well, yeah. So yeah, if it was 1997, yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? So yeah,
Kelly, if you're watching, don't worry, you're aging great. Yeah.
Yeah. And she yeah. Anyway,
I think I've heard a mixture of feelings from social media on the kind of purchasing of the club, and some people are seeing it as a huge positive. Others are seeing it as, you know, has this actually, or is this going to be an opportunity for Richard Lane or subsequent owners, whoever comes in, to actually then kind of sell off the property with a view of making money and moving Kidderminster Harriers. Personally, I see this as a huge positive. I think Richard Lane absolutely has the best interest of the club at heart. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to make sure that there is financial viability within the club going forward. I think at this level, it's terrifying at this level when it comes to the finances, because, you know, there are clubs in leagues well above us, League Two, League One, that are going into administration and are having money woes. And I think Richard Lane trying to make sure that our club's future is secured, albeit through schemes that raise money outside of football, can only be a positive thing on my perspective. And if we do get hot desking at Agborough, me and Nick have already said we're subscribing to that. So we'll see.
Richard, if you're watching and you get a co-working space set up in Agborough, I'll have one with a pitch view.
Yeah, I'll take one as well, please, mate.
Dan could do some like operations on the table, like. You're right, Nick. Nick, you passed me a scalpel, mate.
Scalpel stat.
Since when did I become Dan's assistant? What is this?
I think nurse actually is the.
He's got a scalpel, mate. So come on now. Right. Okay. Also, this is quite a funny comment. Proper screen too, not that crap thing we have now. I think that's the scoreboard he's referring to.
yeah.
Which is true. But where would you put it? Oh my God. Right. Any other business? Let's do it now. Right. The first. I wasn't going to say. I forgot about this completely. But did anyone see the Coventry game at night where the enemy?
Oh yes.
Oh my God! How amazing was that?
Yeah.
We'll live and die in these towns.
That is how you build an atmosphere.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that it's absolutely pouring of rain hasn't been lost on me after that little rendition, Wes.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. But, Nick's AOB is exactly my AOB. I only had one piece of any other business, and that was the Summerfield thing. I think, you know, he was a really good signing for us last season. I wish it was last season. And one of them players that I really, really enjoyed watching. Clearly but it was 6 weeks of seeing something you don't normally see at this level. Was it? It's 6 weeks of seeing a player that plays in a way that you don't tend to see. And we basically built our system around him and then quickly had to create a different system without him. But I wasn't actually there the night of the tackle for some reason. I must have been working away or something. I did miss the game that he went off. But I guess, really good player for us in the short spell that he had. He could see what a player he could and should have been for us. And I guess wish him all the best in his retirement. I saw he played a few games for Chorley. I watched him on a couple of highlights packages. And he's obviously made the decision just to go and focus on fatherhood and whatever else. So wish him all the best. What a player to see at this level. We were lucky in the short term that we had with him to see exactly what he was capable of, and a player like him we're absolutely crying out for this season. Like it's been said in the comments, a player that can get their foot on the ball. Jack Clark showed on Tuesday what he can do. We're going to need to see more of that from him or somebody like him this season. But Summerfield, all the best.
So I tried to get Summerfield on tonight. Actually tried. He's not here though. Surprise, surprise! He never replied to my message. I was like, all right, mate, calm down, son, calm down. So you go. My thoughts on Murray's comments about Seb. I think it's great. I think it's really great. He knows there's a talent there. He just loaned him out to go and play some games, which I'm sure he will do. Which would be lovely stuff. So any of the business was that, and also, I've got to say congratulations to the GOAT of Guess the Attendance, Adam J. Matthews, who got spot on yesterday.
He's probably using ChatGPT.
How can you use ChatGPT? How can you do that? Like
it's just
9 hours before the game
that you can just use. Oh, do you mean how did he use it to get the
correct score?
The attendance, yeah.
Oh man!
Hey, do you understand what ChatGPT is?
Yeah, but you don't. By the sounds of it.
When you say how would he use it to get that kind of data? Maybe not exactly. I am sort of joking, but I'm fairly sure something like that, mate. When it would have access to every single stat you could ever imagine.
You could get a potential.
I think it's got a good chance.
It's a fair point.
Didn't know I was going to be there. The thing is, it was 9 hours. I think he put on about 9-10 hours before the game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Actually, oh my God, keep the microphone.
But well done to Adam. Yeah. I'm sure you didn't use it.
Well done, Adam. Yeah, he's not.
But I'm going to try that next week.
So. Oh God. Well done, Adam. Dan, Dr. Dan. I shouted that. Sorry, Dan. Didn't mean. By the way, it's really annoying that we get our best views when we're about to finish. It's every time.
That's because people are thinking it's been recorded and
Finished.
they're logging on to watch the recorded episode. I think that's what's going on here.
I think it's just men or women who are just like their loved ones are like in bed.
Women are just as bad as men. I'm not naming any names. I don't know any.
Jackie of the Oldham. Jackie's lovely. She joined me for Watch with Wes yesterday.
Nice.
Watch with Wes was crap yesterday, but to get any comments in hardly. It's pointless. I ain't doing it again. So there you go. Dan, for you, have you got any thoughts? Any other business?
Not really. I wanted to talk perhaps a bit more about Michael Gayassi, but I think we've pretty much covered everything there. So no, I think that's all from me. I think let's just try and stay positive, guys. I think it was a bit of a kick in the crotch yesterday, but you know what? We dust ourselves down and we go again, don't we? So looking forward to next Saturday in the trophy.
Yes, 30 quid. Nick, are you going to be in the suite, my friend, on Saturday?
Well, yes, probably is my answer to that one. So I'm going to give the club a call tomorrow and make sure there's some tickets left for it. Because I think it's a real. Is it £35?
£30.
£30. Yeah, I'm absolutely doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, your table you get to share 2 chips between everyone on the table. I think that's what.
Mate, 30 quid's barely more than the entrance fee and a program and a couple of bits and pieces. So yeah, hopefully no one on this call is on this call. I keep doing that, don't I? On this podcast is I know it's so annoying. It's so annoying as well. I'm not even doing it on purpose. Like that is just a genuine error. But yeah, I think at £30 that offers real good value. So nobody here get on the phone in the morning and book it up so that I can't take it. I'm definitely getting a couple of spots of that. I think for me and the little one, and I think Dan and my potential. Dan, can you make it this next week?
No, I'm actually up in Liverpool on Saturday. Ironically, seeing as we're playing Corby. So yeah. Right.
Well, yeah. Look, if anyone in the comments is planning on doing the hospitality and just having like a buying 1 or 2 or 3 free seats, feel free to join us because I think I'll only have 2 or 3. So it'd be good to have a chat with a few of you if you're there.
I love that.
Wonderful.
Aria Woolsey's missus has gone to watch 5. What are you waiting for, Woolsey? What you?
To be fair, that's pretty good commitment. Tuning in live whilst the missus has gone to see 5. It's not a love that.
Basically.
Cheers.
Why didn't you go and see 5, mate? You could have gone and seen 5. To be fair, I mean,
yeah, but where's then you'd have one less viewer, mate, and all the money that you must be making off all these viewers. I mean,
yeah, but what we can't see.
Hang on, how many likes have we got now? How many likes have we got? I'm going to hit refresh. It says
still
0.
Still probably 0.
Better say 40. Ooh.
Please still be 0.
18.
18. Thank you so much. There you go. So that was Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 38. If you just joined us, please rewatch it. And because we had Matt Guys on, the head of football at the ladies, 19, I think, George, the head of football for the ladies, Kidderminster Harriers ladies, which honestly, wasn't he great, Nick? He was fantastic, Matt. I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I just like the insight into something that you don't get as much insight in. I've got a vested interest, obviously, having a daughter, but it was good to hear more about the insight to it. Dan, I actually totally agreed with the comment that I think it was Nick Hatton put on from Emma Hayes around the goals. I do think, and I totally take Matt's point on board, that logistically and financially it's going to be really difficult unless you just go to a 9-a-side goal and not. You've got 11-a-side and 9-a-side. There's nothing in between. So to create a bespoke goal that needs to exist across every playing field and...
Sorry, I've not pressed that button yet. It's a gong. Sorry, Nick, carry on, mate.
I thought someone had come into my house or something. So like in the absence of being able to effectively fund a completely new set of goals to go out, nationwide, I do get that point. But ultimately, you only have to look at the average height, I would say, of a male goalkeeper. Again, I've not got the stats, but I could ask ChatGPT, and I'm sure it would have an accurate response for me. But it'd be interesting to see what the average height of the female goalkeeper is, because ultimately, that should dictate the size of the goals and the dimensions of which you can get, like, physically get to the ball. But I totally take on board what Matt's saying, and it makes complete sense. I think the game is probably, from a financial point of view, if you look at the men's game, there are so many riches at the high end that even at the lowest end now, even if you're looking at your sort of Bridgnorth Town style Port Swifts, players are still demanding a fairly decent pay-per game rate. And that's purely because the money at the top is so high that even at the lowest end, it still filters through to a certain degree. Whereas I think in the women's game, that level of financials isn't at the level that it needs to be at to filter all the way through to effectively change the grassroots game and the academy game yet. But in our lifetime, it's not going to happen in probably the next 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years. But I do feel the way that the growth trajectory of women's football is going, that will eventually potentially be a solution where there's more money available. But of course, the game is still not to the level of maturity of the men's game. But it is great to see just how much is being invested, and a lot of investment continues to go in. You know, Serena Williams' husband's invested a lot. I think it's in Arsenal in the women's section there. So when these things start to happen and really catch fire, hopefully we'll see things massively changed, continue to massively improve, even at the lower levels of the women's game. Of course, the WSL and stuff, and the national teams. There's already a lot of investment there, but it's not at the level where it can trickle down yet, is my view.
Before we go, just let you know that next Sunday night we have, which we are all very excited to find out about. It's not Bo Henriksen. It really isn't. It's not that massive. Well, it is. For us, it is. So anyway, thank you guys for your kind words. Thank you, Nick Hatton. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Let's just cut these people. Thank you, Dr. Stephen Brown, the knee specialist.
New doctor.
The doctor. One more time. Before the So next week, honestly, I cannot wait for this interview next week. It's going to be quality. Be safe. Don't forget to hit the QR code if you're going to watch the Ben versus Eubank number 2.
Should be a great fight.
Anyone quickly?
Should be a great fight. That. I don't know. I really, really, really want Chris Eubank Jr. to win again personally. But I think the last fight was took such a lot out of him, and with the weight drain and how hard he has to work to make weight. He missed it last time and still won the fight. I don't know, but hopefully Eubank Jr. will win.
There we go. Right, Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast episode 38 is now done. Thank you to Dan. Thank you, Dan. And thank you to Nick. Although you were late, Nick, it was noted you were late, but that's okay. That's absolutely fine.
I'm be honest with that. I thought it started at 8:05, so I just genuinely got the time wrong. I wasn't late in my own mind, if that makes sense. Maybe in yours and everybody else's, but in my own, I was actually on time.
Brilliant. I've been Wes. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, we'll speak to you next Sunday. Thanks so much for your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got to make 500 subscribers by New Year's Eve. That would be amazing if we could do that. Right, that is it. That is done.
Hey guys.
See you later, guys.
Bye everyone.
See you later.